G'day guys and welcome back to the workshop. I hope you had a fantastic Christmas and a great New Year's. And here we are to finally announce the winner of the #Towns Bowie Build-Off competition. Now I have to say I have been absolutely stunned by the level of skill that I have seen produced during this competition by so many people. I did not expect this many entries. And it's made it really hard to judge, and thank you for that. Thank you for making my job hard, because it's just so great to see so many people putting in so much effort for something as simple as this, and I'm just, yeah, absolutely blown away. I'm also really happy to have seen so many beginner knife makers who haven't tried this kind of thing before, getting in there and giving it a go, because that's what I'm all about. I'm all about getting people interested in this craft. And so thank you guys. Even though you may not have won, thank you so much for putting your hat in the ring and actually getting out there and doing it. I want to see more of that in the future. So absolutely fantastic. But let's get into looking at the entrants for this competition. There were 22 entrants into this competition, and that is just a stunning number for me. I absolutely love that. And even that is not the true number of how many people actually tried. I know that there were a number of people who couldn't quite make the deadline due to other time constraints and stuff like that. One person was actually severely injured doing something else. But yeah, I thank you guys so much, those of you who tried and couldn't quite make it to the deadline. I hope you finish those knives anyway and send me photos so that I can have a look, because all I want to see is you guys getting out there and making stuff and having fun. So even if you didn't get on in this one, there will be another one in the future, I promise. Yeah, this is my notes, by the way, because I got to keep this all in my head. But no, honestly, thank you so much for getting in there and giving it a shot, even if you didn't make it to the finish line. Deadlines suck, I know that, and this time of year is always crazy, so don't hold yourself to too hard an account on my behalf. To begin, I'm not going to be going in any specific order. These are all going to be out of order until I get to the top 5, or top 4, I should say, because there's not a fifth prize. The fifth prize is going to be discussed at the end of this video. Make sure you stick around for that, because you guys get to decide who wins the fifth prize, which is this bar of 80+ layer random pattern Damascus. So this was donated by one of my viewers, who I forgot to make a note of their name, but I will link them in the description below. But they donated this very generously, and you guys get to decide who takes this home. So make sure you stick it in to the end. But first off the ranks, we're going to talk about Jeremydinger. Now, Jeremy made a simple buoy. It was wooden steel, very mono steel, very simple buoy. Obviously, Jeremy hasn't made too many buoys before and has tried a whole bunch of new things in his experimentation here, and it's fantastic to see that he's got really into it and given it a shot. I commend him for giving it a try. Thank you very much, Jeremy. Awesome work. Next on the list is Karen Morgan, goes by Carvin1 on Instagram, if you want to find him. And he made an S-guard buoy. Now this thing is a really killer build. It's actually got a really nice flow to it. I really like the lines on the handle and the blade. The guard is slightly like overlarge for the whole build, but honestly, it provides the protection it's there to be built for, and it cuts really well. I've seen the photos and videos. You can go over to his Instagram, which is again at Carvin1, and you'll find him there. It is a fantastic build, so well done, mate. Thank you very much for entering this competition. I really, really appreciate it. Third on the list, in again no particular order, is Wendell Budwhite. Now, Wendell has entered a number of Forgecast competitions and stuff like that before. I know that he's a real big history buff, and so him making this beautiful Farrier's Rasp buoy is just a pure testament to his skill and also his interest, and I really love it. I am a big fan of my Rasp buoys, so he got to my heart with this one, but no, it's really well pulled off. I love the wrought iron fittings. I love the wood in the handle. It looks like she oak, but she oak's endemic to WA, so I'm not sure if it's like a lacy oak or something like that, but it is a fantastic piece, and you should be very proud of that. The next one on the list is from Cole Barrett. Now, Cole is a fellow knife maker from here in Australia. Cole and I met a number of years ago at Sydney Knife Show, and he is the king of clean. cannot fault him for his fit and finish. This is something that I've seen him produce millions of times before, and honestly, every time it's just amazing how clean his work is. I believe this is CPM S30V. I could be wrong. He works in a lot of very high carbon, very stainless, very, very tricky heat treat steels. He's very much into his steels. He also works for Gamico Artisan Supplies as their main marketing officer, I believe. And yeah, no, Cole's a fantastic maker, and if you haven't followed him, it's Cole_Barrett_BMT. I'll put it up here. Follow him because he makes some amazing work, and I can't wait to see what he does in the future. But this build was just super crisp. Always crisp. Next on the list is Robert Edgerton. Edgerton. And he made an awesome lawnmower buoy. It's really kind of rustic and really rough. It looks mean. I really like the kind of acrylic pattern that he's got in the handle. I'm not sure what material it is. It could be Kieranite. But yeah, no, it is a fantastically brutal piece. It would be like, it wouldn't be out of place in the post-apocalypse. So well done, mate. I really like it. And he's over on Twitch. If you want to follow him, the link is right here. So check that out. I'm sure he'd appreciate it. We've also got Josh Blount. Now, Josh Blount made something that I really, really love. Now, I'm really into my, kind of mountain man history, flintlock hunting and all that kind of stuff. And this is just pure mountain man. That patinated monosteel, the spalted maple, or the curly maple, sorry, and the antler. And I love that he made a sheath to go with it as well. Now, obviously, I didn't include sheaths as part of the judgment because I didn't require a sheath as part of the build. And so those of you who made sheaths, I mean, amazing, but I'm not counting that as into my judgment. And yeah, so this is an amazing piece overall. I really love it. It wouldn't be out of place in any gunpowder firer's kit, any hunter's kit. So yeah, no, fantastic work. Can't wait to see more from him. So yeah, go over and follow him. He's at Blount Knives, all one word. I'll put it here again. And yeah, no, absolutely fantastic. Love it. Then we have Leon Muller. Now, he made a buoy which I'm calling Moby because it's got the whale in the handle, carved whale in the handle. Just amazing. The level of skill and detail that I've seen people go into, this is what made it so hard. Like, stuff like this Hamoned buoy with that carved whale. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. How can anyone beat this? And then, there was just more and more. But yeah, just a super clean build. I really love the carving. I really love the Hamon. The Hamon's nice and straight. And I love the overall kind of Brute to Forge look as well. Like, it's a clean Brute to Forge. There is a way to do Brute to Forge where it's good and where it's not so good. And yeah, you really nailed it. I love it. I love the shape of the guard as well. If you look at photos on Instagram, he goes by Dungeon Metalworks, all one word. You can actually see that it's basically peaked in the center of the guard, and yeah, just the flowing lines of it. Absolutely amazing. Anyone would be happy to own that, I'm sure. Fantastic. Thank you very much for entering. This is going to take a while, guys. Sorry. Now, we also have Jeff Harbaugh, right? Goes by JH Customs with a K on Instagram. And he made a knife that I was sure was going to be in that top 4. Absolutely amazing work. Mostly in the handle. The handle is incredible. He's got carved skulls in the ends of the quillen, so it's basically a ball guard, like on a standard Muso buoy, but he's carved skulls into it, and then he did an inlaid carved skull as the pommel, and that was just, I was blown away watching that process on Instagram. Go over on Instagram and look at the photos, the close-ups. Absolutely incredible. He added a crown at the end as kind of the pommel cap, and then did a Brute to Forge blade. And yeah, the overall aesthetic's great, and I really love it. But yeah, so it is a fantastic piece, and I would love to see more like this from him in the future. Absolutely stellar work. We also have a fellow Perth boy, Brendan Atkinson, coming in with another sheathed buoy, which I absolutely love this buoy because it is, it's themed. I really love themed stuff, and this is spade, right? So I called it spade because it's got spades on the quillins. It's actually got like the spade shape from cards, and on the on the sheath as well, stamped, and in the belt loop. Just incredible. Brendan always does super clean work, and I love the flowing lines on the handle for this one. So yeah, absolutely fantastic work. He doesn't have an Instagram that I could find, so if you want to find him, you can find him on Facebook. But yeah, absolutely incredible maker, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he comes up with in the future. He's made stuff like carbon fiber S-guard handles and stuff like that, so the fact that he pulled this out is not surprising. I also really like the fact that he parkerized all of the fittings to make them jet black, like absolutely midnight black. Absolutely love that. So then we also have Leon Strowett. He made what I can only call the Bowie-rang, or the Bowie-rang. Leon decided that he would go for the extreme ridiculous. And I kind of like it. I kind of love it. It's like everyone I've shown the photo to, they're kind of like, that is crazy, I like it. It would make a killer throwing weapon. Just as long as it doesn't come back. I don't want it coming back at me because I don't want to try and catch it. But yeah, made out of a lawnmower blade. He forged it to shape and then ground it. I absolutely love this thing because it's so ridiculous. And yeah, thank you very much, Leon. You can find him at LMS_edged_tooling on Instagram. I'll put the name up here for you to find. Again, ludicrous, and I love it. And then we have my man, David McMinn from the Iron Haggis, who made the bone-styled buoy, the bone buoy. This one, I really like the design that he went for. I like the fact that he tried to forge that like kind of bone shape in the guard. It makes it look really good. I think the only downfall is that the guard seems way too big for the knife itself. But I really love what he was trying to go for with the aesthetic, especially when you tie in the laddering on the blade. That kind of forged texture laddering look is really nice with this overall aesthetic. So again, just tying in that theme, getting everything to fit with the knife is really important. So did a fantastic job. Again, you can find him at the_iron_haggis. Go and check him out. He's a great guy. He's always in my chats when he can get in there, my live streams. So yeah, go and give him some love. Absolutely fantastic work here. Another on the beginner side, Gordon came in with this nice little piece. You know, it's obvious that he has just started out in his journey, and it's really nice to see that he's trying new things, trying new like he's never burned in a tang before, doing hidden tangs and stuff like that. So it's nice to see him branching out into new skills. You know, the overall lines are pretty clean. I really like it. And I love the fact that he decided to pull out the stops to try for this competition. And I really appreciate the fact that he put himself out there for it. So good on you, Gordon. I look forward to seeing if you do any more awesome work like this and keep improving. And then we have my mate, James Perkins. Now, James made a Hamoned single quillen buoy, which I kind of dig my single quillen buoys, I have to admit. Technically, a lot of people would call them fighters because the differentiation of like buoys having top and bottom quillens, but I don't really differentiate that much. And it's just clean. Like it's a really clean design. I really like the acrylic handle on it. Like I don't use acrylic myself, but I can appreciate it in other builds, and I really like the way he used it here. The lines, yeah, are super clean. The lines are very, very nice. I have a very, very, very specific eye for lines. It's one of the things that killed a couple of the builds in this competition is just the way the lines flow into each other throughout the whole piece is really important to keep a track of that, and you can watch my video on knife design to understand that. But yeah, no, he did an amazing piece, and I really appreciate you putting in the effort for this one. Amazing work. Thank you. Next on the list is Peter Ellison, who actually went all out with his dissertation on the buoy. Peter is an SCA, or Society for Creative Anachronism player. He does medieval reenactment, and a lot of his tools are very traditional. He uses a wrought iron hammer with no steel faces for a lot of his forging. And yeah, he decided to try something new and do a wrought iron sanmai construction, and he used zebra wood for the handle, which is one of my favorite woods, so, you know, he knows his audience. And he did a full write-up for the SCA paper, so I am amazed at the amount of detail that he went into with his build, and I really look forward to seeing his progress as he gets better as a knife maker. to see where he gets with, because I love medieval reenactment and recreation. So seeing someone who's taking it to that extreme of using very medieval tools, really cool to see. All of this stuff was finished by hand with files and stuff like that. So again, just amazing amount of effort. Thank you, Peter. Amazing work. It didn't have an Instagram that I could find, or a Facebook, so I don't know where to find him. He may be in the comments down below to tell you though, so check down there. We also have Larry Hemphill here from Fine Irons Forge, who also made a wrought iron Sanmai, but he decided to go with a recasserless build, and I really like the look of the handle. I'm not sure what it is, whether it's wood that's been stabilized, or it's an acrylic or a kieranite or something like that, but it looks really nice. I love the striations in it and the high polish. The wrought iron is really well figured in this as well. There's some really nice, kind of contrast in the pattern, which tells me that it's some fairly rough wrought iron, which is hard to work with. So this was a really good piece, and I love the fact that he also used wrought iron for the fittings, because when you use a wrought iron Sanmai, you may as well use wrought iron for the fittings. So thank you very much, Larry. You can find him at Fine Irons Forge. So if you really want to check out his work, I recommend you go over there and check that out. We also have Gunny Forged. Now, Gunny Forged actually made 3 buoys and sent me all 3, so I had to kind of pick the best one. It's not, I normally wouldn't allow it, but I kind of, I accepted that he had made one, he made the other 2 based off the same dimensions, and just basically just said, here you go. So I chose the dog bone handled buoy that he made. The Hamones on these are all super clean. All 3 of them had blades that were basically identical, and they all were this clean, and I really, really appreciate that. The handles are really, really nice. I love the lines. Everything's really flows well. This one was just probably the best for pin placement and overall aesthetic. I really, really liked this one, so this is the one I picked. But yeah, thank you to going so much effort, and you didn't have to send me 3, but awesome work. And you can find him at Gunny Forged on Instagram. Again, link down here. Check his work out. Check the other 2 buoys that he made out, and see what I'm talking about. He is a fantastic knife maker, and I look forward to seeing more from him. We also have Rob Hayes from Hammer and Scales. It's hammer and _ scales, who made a T-spined Persian-style buoy. It's kind of a buoy. It's kind of more of a pesh cabs, but it fits all of the parameters. It has a bolster of brass. It has a clip point. But yeah, I love the fact that he tried to tie in a a very historical pesh cabs design with the buoy aesthetic. I really like it. Rob has always been down to do some really interesting kind of amalgamations of time periods. Most recently, in one of the Forgecast competitions, he made a pipe hawk that was also a war axe from like the 15th century. So if you're interested in a lot of really cool medieval style production stuff, definitely go ahead and head over to Rob's store. Rob's Instagram page, I should say. If he has a store, go check that out too. We also have Leighton Kiwi Carvings on Instagram, who made an awesome little buoy with a green acrylic handle. I believe it's acrylic, and mild steel fittings. It's a really nice, clean overall design. I really like the kind of green ferrule with the green handle as well. It flows together quite well. It kind of reminds me of like a goblin buoy, something that a goblin would carry. So yeah, no, it's a really neat design. It's really clean. I really like it. The good lines and stuff like that. It's, again, so hard to decide which one should win in the future. And the last before we get to the top 4 is my mate Broden, Odin, brother.odin on Instagram. He made this Feather Damascus Sanmai keyhole integral. So it was an impressive build for him. Like, I'd never seen anything this complex out of him, and it is an incredibly complex thing to do. Keyholes are not fun from all accounts. I haven't made one yet, but I know people who have, and all of them tell me it's not fun. I've watched videos on how to make them, and it drives me mental thinking of how much time it would take. But he managed to pull it off, and it looks stunning. Like, visually, I love that quilted maple handle, or I think it might be ringigi, I'm not sure, but it is a very nice piece of flame wood. And it flows really well with the Damascus and the keyhole. There were a couple of like constructive issues that that held it back from the top 4, but honestly, overall, this thing looks stunning, absolutely stunning, and it is a usable piece. Don't let that get you twisted. So awesome work, Broden. Thank you very much for that. And if you want to follow Broden again, brother.odin on Instagram, I highly recommend it because he's been making some awesome stuff like swords and stuff like that recently, and I've only seen him improve. So definitely well worth a follow. Now, I agonized over these top 4 for hours, hours and hours, and my wife can corroborate that. But I decided that in the number 4 place is the first man to send in a finished buoy. He got off the line real fast and made a fantastically clean, fantastically neat piece, and that is Michel Zvan from South Africa. He made a B guard. It's a D guard, but it's kind of a B guard buoy. Recurve buoy with the curved fuller, the curves in the blade, the fact that the bottom and top, the pommel and guard quillen kind of thread through each other at the center, so there's almost a through scroll in the middle, which, like, yeah, that's insanely difficult to do correctly, especially to line it up properly between those two parts. Just overall, insanely clean, and honestly, it just shows the level of quality that we have in the builds that that I got through. Just the amount of skill scared me. I couldn't decide, and yeah. So, Michelle, you won a block of brass. This actually was donated by another viewer as a prize. So this is a solid block of brass that will be going to you over in South Africa when I can get to the post office. But yeah, congratulations very much, and thank you very much, Michelle. You did a fantastic job, and I'm sorry your spot isn't higher, but that just, yeah, the amount of skill that was shown in this competition, absolutely insane. But yeah, go over and follow Michelle on Instagram at michelle.zvan. He's also at Penga Ndlovu. I will put it down here because I can't pronounce it properly. But he does amazing photography, and he posts that on, I believe, Instagram and Facebook. He definitely posts it on Facebook of African wildlife, which I absolutely love to follow. So definitely go and check him out. He's an amazing craftsman, and he's made some awesome work. So definitely head over there, send him some love, and tell him that I sent you. Now, number 3 and number 2 were where the rubber really met the road. I had such a hard time deciding between these two, which should take the top spot. Technically speaking, and on a fit and finish level, William Thorne absolutely smashed it out of the park. I cannot understand how much talent was put into this and how much time. He obviously, I'll show here, the 410 stainless jacket over a high carbon core with blacked out mild steel fittings with 410 stainless spacers and that stabilized block of wood in the middle. Just absolutely mind-blowing. Just absolutely mind-blowing. I love the core is so centered, and there's that beautiful carbon migration pattern through the stainless. He apparently actually hot blued the blade as well to make it a slightly dull brown. It's not actually a black, to match the wood colors. So it really brings throughout the piece. He's got some more shots on his Instagram page, which is Thorne Works and Thorne Works Custom and Design. So head over there and check him out. Custom design, sorry. Thorne Works Custom Design, I will put it here. But he absolutely smashed this out of the park. It is Journeyman Smith quality level of craftsmanship. I can't understand why he's still an apprentice at this stage. But no, absolutely, and it came out of nowhere. Didn't know he was doing this, but absolutely stunning build, William, and thank you so much for putting so much effort into this. I truly enjoyed watching it being made, and seeing the final piece absolutely took my breath away, and I wish I could give everyone a prize, but also especially you, because it's just amazing. But you win a 10-pack of my hand-forged custom gravers. They're graver blanks, so they're ready for use as, you just want to make them whatever you want and then harden them, and away you go. Yeah, again, thank you so much for entering this, and again, guys, go over there and check this shit out because it's amazing. Now, the winner of the number 2 spot is the winner of the knife that I want most out of this whole collection. Honestly, if I could own any of the knives out of this group of knives that were shown, and there are so many good ones, but if I had to choose one, this would be the one. This knife. Just this knife. And like, when you may have the same reaction I did when I first saw it, where you were kind of like, oh, that looks kind of cool. But then I looked at the build photos, and I'm going to try and throw up some build photos here. It's fully integral. Like all that scroll cage work underneath the handle is entirely integral. The guard is actually in 4 pieces and has those beautiful copper, like acorn quillen tips, and then it's got the brass overlay. But that whole construction underneath, it's basically a squirrel tail, but with maximum detail. And to understand that he also did that out of wrought iron sandmire with high carbon steel, just blew my mind. I looked at it over and over again, just trying to understand how. Like, I know it's got the step-by-step photos, but holy crap, guys. I was blown away by how skilled this man is. And especially because, like, I could not find him on social media. I looked everywhere. Michael, if you have social media, please put it in the comment section down below. Please. I know he's from Germany, but he absolutely slammed this out of the park, and yeah, I kind of desperately want this knife in my life now. It is my aesthetic, if we like. But yeah, an absolutely fantastic piece. As I said, wrought iron sandmire over high carbon steel core with brass overlay on top of a integral scroll scrollwork cage, I suppose you would call it, handle, and then the copper tipped mild steel quillins. Just mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. And if this man shows up anywhere, please let me know. But yeah, absolutely fantastic work. Just wow. You win a hammer, maybe not this one. You'll have your choice of hammers. I'll get in touch with you and let you know, and we can discuss from there. But you win one of my custom hammers, and it's well-deserved. And I look forward to seeing what you make with one of my hammers. That's what I'm really looking forward to. And of course, the winner of the first prize is me. I wouldn't give away my engraving tools. Why would I do that? Just kidding. Alex promised me that if he won, it would be with no doubt of nepotism at all. No one would be able to accuse me of choosing favorites purely because he is one of my best friends and also is my co-host on the Forgecast. And he was right. Everyone who's seen Alex's video on making his folding 8-inch Bowie knife, sub-hilt Bowie knife, knows that this had to go to Alex. I have had several messages since he uploaded that video saying, so we all know who won. And yes, Alex pulled it out of the hat. Now, we'd spoken previously, Alex and I, about him wanting to build one of these. And when he said he was going to be winning this competition, I had an inkling of what he was going to be doing, and I was right. And he pulled it off amazingly well. And to understand, he was actually sick for most of the period in which he was making this, and only spent about 8 days building this. So I was getting messages from him right up until the last hour of the build, just saying, I just need that little much more time. He absolutely knocked this out of the park. It is a super functional, super elegant piece that locks up rigid. I absolutely adore it. I would love to own this in my collection. I have a soft spot for folding buoys. Anyway, and it's just, yeah, it's probably the best piece I've seen from him thus far. And he's made some excellent work, like the mallard and stuff like that. But this knife and the video that went with it and all that kind of stuff is just insane. And if you haven't watched the video of building this, go over and do it. It's just an incredible build. He well deserves the accolades that he's got from everyone, and also the full engraving kit that I created for myself and am now giving away. He fully deserves that, and I could not be prouder of my friend. And yeah, absolutely insane that he managed to pull this off in such a short time, especially given that he does not have a mill. He does have a lathe, but the lathe is quite a small one, and most of this wasn't lathe work. This is all basically hand fitting. And so the fact that he managed to pull it off, and you can look at it in the photos and you can look at it on the video, the fit-ups are incredibly tight. Like, he did a spectacular job of making this a very, very tight folder. And I just love it. I wish I could actually hold it because it just looks so cool. But yeah, no, well done, Alex. You absolutely smashed this. Thank you, man. Now, there are a couple of things we need to clear up, and one of them is that number 5 prize, this bar of 80 layer random pattern Damascus, is to be chosen by you. At the end of this video, I am going to put a slideshow of all of the entries, all of them, including the ones that have already won something, numbered 1 through 22, and you will just comment down below with your number, and then the person who's got the most votes will end up winning this bar of Damascus in a week. So a week from when this is uploaded, I will then upload another video announcing the winner of this bar. Now, it can be someone who's already won something, but again, make sure that you put down your vote after you've watched the full slideshow to know which number you're voting for. And there was one person I missed, and it was on purpose. Now, I said at the beginning of this that I was blown away by the number of new makers who just got in there and did it, knowing that they were going up against people like Michelle Zwan, Alex, and all those guys. Absolutely legendary bravery to go up in that kind of thing. I know from personal experience that it's terrifying to put your work in front of people who are also competing against, you know, people who've been doing this for years. And so I wanted to give a prize to the best quote-unquote beginner knife maker. I wanted to give a prize to someone who really put their all out there. It's just because it was one of those things that there's so many people I wanted to give. I would want to give prizes to everyone, but I can't because I don't have that much money. But this is something that I figured I could give and it would just recognize someone who really put their all into a piece. And that is Nathan Butcher. Now, he goes by Northern Iron Forge, I believe. I will put it here. But he made a beautiful recurve harpoon-pointed buoy with a solid jarrah handle and brass guard, and it's really clean for like simple tooling and stuff like that he's got access to. It is a fantastically clean piece, and he did a really great job of getting the lines right, getting everything in proportion. It looks really nice. It looks like it would work well in the hand. And for that, I had to give recognition because from what I can see on his Instagram and from what I can tell, he's only been making knife for about a year, maybe a little bit more. And the fact that he's managing to really produce better and better content as he goes is just spectacular. So the 6th prize for Nathan is this laddered Crush W's pattern Damascus blade that I forged and ground and heat treated a while back. I will be sending this to you to finish off and keep with you, or finish off and sell if you want to, I suppose. But yeah, so this blade will be going to you. It is, you know, just a symbol of recognition of the fact that you've put in so much work and effort, and were willing to put yourself out there in front of my audience and the greater population of knife making as everyone was entering into this competition. So no, thank you very much to all the guys, the beginners who got in on this. And remember this for when I have my next competition, because you could win something that I haven't talked about before. So there you go. Thank you very much. And again, stay tuned for the slideshow at the end and pick your number and vote down in the comment section below. Even one vote could win it if no one else votes. So get in there, get voting. But thank you very much, guys. Thank you hugely to my patrons, who I will list here quickly. These guys make it possible for this kind of stuff to happen. They're going to be financing me shipping all of this stuff internationally, so you have to thank them, because without them, none of the winners would be getting their prizes, because I'm not made of money. So massive thank you to them. I really do appreciate all the support I get. If you want to join my Patreon, the link will be down in the description below or at the end card of this video. I would really like to say a huge thank you again to everyone who entered the competition, everyone who commented on the competition entrance. You guys supporting the entrants in making their stuff makes it more likely that they'll compete in the future, and that's what I really love to see. So Thank you so much, guys. I look forward to the next competition. I'm already planning it in my head. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and if you do, make sure you get it on camera. And I'll see you next time. Stay tuned for the slideshow.